Stories have always played an important role in life, whether it's back when you were a child listening to your parents read you stories, or as an adult watching blockbuster movies, or even binge watching a Netflix series. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is looking at how stories or storytelling can help shape your business and ultimately lead to more sales of your services or even your products. Now, I recently read a book called Building a Story Brand, and this is a book by Donald Miller. And ultimately, this book takes the theory of storytelling and allows you to construct your business or your website to communicate three very important things. And these things were: who are you, what you're here to do, and why that customer should choose you over choosing one of your competitors. So let's assume that you are a web designer or web agency or freelancer, and someone is visiting your website because they need a website for their own business. Now, if you don't communicate those three things clearly, you could be the best web designer in the world making killer designs, but they will never use you because you're not able to communicate why they should use you or even what you do. Okay, so you need to make sure that those 3 points are answered, but more importantly, you need to make sure the third point is answered: why that customer should choose you over your competitors. And the way that you can do this is by exploiting their typical pain points. All right, so to do this, you need to consider like the common basic human survival needs, which is food, water, air, shelter, and I've also included companionship in here. Now, companionship goes back thousands of years. As human beings, we were always looking for a tribe. Okay, you had a much better chance of surviving if you were in a tribe than if you were out by yourselves. And the need of companionship can actually be utilized in trying to sell your services and digging into people's pain points. So if you do understand what a customer needs from your business in order to survive, you'll honestly find it a lot easier to sell. So we do need to tap into these common pain points by way of common survival needs. Now, for example, if you are a web designer selling web design, okay, you're not going to get very far selling web design based on how a website looks, okay? But if you tap into people's needs, desires, and their pain points, so for example, a business is unable to make more sales online and therefore are unable to pay their team, that's going to be a huge pain point that you can help solve. Or if, for example, if you were a personal trainer, your customer might be looking to lose weight. Okay, maybe they want to lose weight so they feel confident to go out and go on a date. Okay, again, that's companionship. Or maybe they want to fit into a dress so they can go out and have drinks with the girls and feel good about that. Or maybe someone is overweight and they just need to lose weight in order to be healthier. Often pain points that you need to be talking about are internal. Okay, they're deep desires of a human being that you need to be utilizing, understanding, and then figuring out how you can take that and then communicate it to a person that's visiting your website. Okay, and the way that we communicate this is through storytelling. Okay, the Donald Miller book, Building a Story Brand, talks us through 7 key steps of storytelling and how we can use that framework to clearly communicate all of these 3 points that I've mentioned: who you are, why you're there, and why people should choose you. Okay, so the 7 essential elements of a good story are: 1, you have a character with a problem, meets a guide who has a plan and calls them to action, which can lead to failure or to success. Okay, so let's just look at Star Wars. So you have Luke Skywalker, who is your character or your hero, and they have a problem. They need to beat Darth Vader. Okay, but he has no idea how to do that until he meets Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan guides him along the journey to ultimately result in beating Darth Vader in the end. Okay, so he leads him to success rather than leading him to failure. Okay, now let's look at Lord of the Rings. We've got Frodo, who's the main character, he's the hero, and he has the ring and he needs to destroy it, but has no idea how until he meets Gandalf. Now Gandalf helps him and guides him along the way, instructs him on what he needs to do, calls him to action, and then sends him on a journey which leads him to success. Okay, again, another one, Harry Potter. We've got Harry, who's the main character. He's the hero. He needs to beat Voldemort, but has no idea how to do so because Voldemort's the most powerful wizard in the world. So Harry gets guidance from Dumbledore. Dumbledore instructs him on what he needs to do, calls him into action, and which ultimately leads to Harry eventually beating Voldemort. Okay, so you can see how storytelling works within movies. So how does this actually work with website design and how that can actually ultimately result in you and being able to get more customers by way of your website? Okay, the first thing that you need to understand is you are not the hero. Okay, as the business offering services or a business offering products, you are not the hero. And this is where a lot of people go wrong, is they assume that they are the hero in the story. Okay, it's actually your customer who's the hero, not you. Okay, so looking at how this relates to web design and your website, you've got a character who wants something. Okay, now this is the website user. This is the person visiting your site. That user encounters a problem. They have a need. They need something fixing. And then they meet a guide. Okay, you are the guide. This is the key thing. You are not the hero, you are the guide. So within storytelling, you are the guide and you give them a plan of action that they need to take. So you're indicating what the next steps are for them to solve the problem, and then you're calling them to action. So having a call to action on your website by way of a form or a button to instruct them to take the next step. That next step then results in a success story. Okay, so what happens when they buy your product or service? And you help them avoid failure. So you need to remind them that what happens if they don't, follow your process or take action. Remind them what their pain points are and what result they might end up with if they fail. Okay, this is super powerful. Okay, so looking at this framework, the 7-step framework here, all right, we've got your customer who is the hero, who is the main character within this story. We know that it's not you. We know that the hero is the business, and they have a problem, and that problem could be anything. In our example, we had a business looking to make more sales online through their website so they can pay their staff, or taking companionship into account. It might be that they are embarrassed by their website because it's old and out of date and their competitors are looking much better than them, and therefore they want to fit in with their peers and other business friends, so they feel like they need to update their website in order to fit in. Or on a personal trainer example, we've got people looking to lose weight, for example. So they have a problem. Now they then meet a guide. Okay, you are the guide. So if you're a web designer offering web design services, you're the guide because you're going to help this hero, this main character, go from A to B, go from their current state to where they want to be. Or whatever business you're in, take the personal trainer, for example, they are going to help their customer go from weighing 200 pounds to maybe 150 pounds. Okay. Now, as the guide, you need to really understand your customers. Okay. You need to understand them, because if you understand them, you're going to understand what their pain points are, and you're going to be able to easily communicate how you can solve those problems. Okay. You're going to be able to give them a plan, which moves us on to step 4. Give them a plan. Okay. If you're a web designer and a company needs to make more money online, you need to be able to identify what problems they're currently having. What is the opportunity for people to buy online already? Is it clear? What steps does that business need to take in order to improve the amount of sales that they're getting online? Or take the personal trainer, for example. They need to clearly map out what journey their customer needs to take in order to lose weight. Okay, it might be within the first 30 days, they focus on a structured meal plan. And then in the next 60 days, they focus on cardio and then weight training, and essentially giving them an end-to-end process or a journey that they need to take to reach their goal. Okay, the clearer that this can be, the easier it is for people to visualize. Okay, so whatever business you're in, if you can clearly show and demonstrate the journey that somebody needs to take, or the steps that someone needs to take to get them to their desired goal, it's going to be a lot easier for them to visualize and understand what needs to happen. Okay, and then you move on to step 5, which is calling them to action. Okay, so you can say to them, I've given you all the information that you need in order to do what you need to achieve. Now you can either go away and do this yourself, or we could help you with this. We can take you on this journey. Okay, we can support you. We can do it for you. So if you're a web designer, for example, and you've given a potential customer all the information they need in order to start selling more online, they're not really going to know how to do that. Okay, so you can instruct them to take action. You can say, look, we can help you with this. Would you like to sign up? Would you like to book a call? Would you like to talk about this more? Would you like to see how we can do this for you? Whatever it might be, you need to call them into action. Or take the personal trainer, for example. You can give your customer the steps that they need in order to lose weight. Okay, but you need to call them into action and say that we can give you all of the meal plans, we can give you the structured training plans, we can give you the guidance, we can give you the accountability that you need in order to be successful. Okay, whatever it is, just call them into action next. Okay, this step is the most underutilized part, because you can give everyone what they need. Okay, but unless you instruct them to take action, this is the point in which they're going to decide to work with you or not. Now you need to be encouraging call to actions on your website. Otherwise, someone's going to have all the information. They're going to get to the end or towards the end of the story, and they're going to have no idea what to do next. Okay, so you call them into action, and this action is going to give them a result. Okay, it's either going to give them success or it's going to give them failure. Now, if you know your stuff and you are a guide and you understand your customers' needs and you've done this time and time again, then ultimately you're going to result in success. And that's what you need to be relying on. That's what you need to convince the character in the story that you are able to achieve that for them, or help them achieve that for themselves. Now, ultimately, they're going to result in success, but failure is a good way of reminding them of what could happen if they don't work with you. Okay, you've highlighted how they can get them to where they want to be. And then this is a really good sales tactic as well. You can talk to someone on the phone and you can essentially say, great, we know where you are. We know where you need to be. We know you now know how you need to get there. But how are you going to do that? Okay, you can either go away and do that yourself and try and perhaps fail and remind them of what that failure would mean to them, or we can help you with this, we can guide you, we can do it for you. Okay, that is really, it's incredibly powerful. It's incredibly powerful on your website. It's incredibly powerful on sales calls. Okay, so this framework of storytelling is honestly, it's amazing. And if you can start utilizing this on your website, you're going to have a much better conversion rate. But if you can also use it in any of your conversations, any of your marketing materials, your sales calls, then being able to answer the key questions that you need to be answering of who you are, what you're here to do, and why someone should choose you over your competitors, you're going to find yourself having a much higher success rate than you did before. So so I do recommend using this framework on your website. Okay, go through your website. See if your website can tell the story that it needs to tell. Now, hopefully you found that valuable. If you did, I really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. There is an end screen coming up with more useful content for you, so go and check those out. Or go check out any other video on the channel. That's it for me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.